Everything that lives is designed to end.
You impress me. Shall we begin the experiment?
Hello everyone, how's it going? I'm Taukaka, and in this video I'm going to show you how to punish Azwel in Soul Calibur 6. Before I start, I just want you to know that this video is split into two parts. In this video we will talk about everything other than the moves that transition into his various stances. And in the second video we will talk about exactly that. Let us begin. First up, horizontals. Azwel, his AAA is -10 on block. Unfortunately, most of the cast won't be able to block punish this move. But you can also auto-GI the last hit, just be careful because you have to use the auto-GI later than you might think. And you can also interrupt him after the second hit with a up to I-20 move. Just make sure to not use any lows or special mids, because he will be airborne and he will crush them. But exactly because he will be airborne, Xianghua and Tira will be able to get a lethal hit here. Then we have his AB, which is -20 on block. You shouldn't let this move go unpunished. After that, there is his 2A. Xianghua can attempt a low throw after blocking it, but only if he doesn't follow up with a stance transition move. But there are a few exceptions though. The exceptions are 2AK, Beauty of Balance B, 2A6K, Tragedy of War 6K, and 2A4K, Comedy of Errors 4K. Azwel, his 1A is a low that is -12 on block. But if you block it at tip range, it will be safe. His full crouch 3A is a high, where you can duck the second hit. Or you can auto-GI it, and because it's a single button input, it will be guaranteed. Then there is his full crouch 1A, which is another low that is -12 on block but will leave him in a crouching position. And because it leaves him in a crouching position, you can attempt to low throw him as well. This will also work for both Cassandra and Asta. Next up, his Wild Rising A, which is unfortunately also only -10 on block, so most of the cast won't be able to block punish this. Next up is his 9A, a jumping low that is -16 on block, but will become safer at tip range. His last horizontal is 7A, a jumping low that is -18 on block, but only if you're really close to him. It will become safer on block with distance. Also, if you play X, do not use Wild Rising B, because only the first hit will hit. Next up, we're going to look at his verticals. Azwel, his BA is a mid-high where you can duck the second hit, and you don't have to worry about getting hit by his BB either, because it jails. His BBB can be sidestepped to either side, just keep in mind that he can transition into stance after his BB. Or you can use the auto-GI for verticals or mids to guard impact the last hit. And if you want to, you can also interrupt him with an up to I-18 move, but just like with his AAA, make sure to not use any lows or special mids because he will crush them. And because he is airborne here as well, just like in his AAA string, both Xianghua and Tira will be able to get their lethal hits for airborne opponents here. Next up, we have a 6BA where you can duck the second hit, but his 6B has different follow-ups that will hit you if you try to duck them. Or if you want to, you can also use the auto GI for horizontals or highs against the second hit. Just when you play X, make sure that you're not too far away when using your 4A plus B because the first hit will whiff. Next up we have the 6B AB, where you can avoid the second hit by sidestepping to either side. Or if you want to, you can use the auto GI for verticals or mids. And the last string for his 6B series is the 6BB, which can also be sidestepped to either side. Or you can use the auto GI against verticals or mids here as well. When playing as X, you can beat both his 6BA and his 6BB by attempting to low throw him after his 6B. To beat both his 6BAB and his 6BB, you can sidestep to either side. Or you can also use the auto GI for verticals or mids to beat both. Some characters, such as 2B or Terra, has unique options to beat all of the follow-ups at the same time. 2B, for example, can use her angle stance evade. His 3B is minus 16 on block, but there's a follow-up to keep in mind. Azwel, his 3BB can be sidestepped to either direction. Or you can auto GI the second hit with auto GI for verticals or mids. His 2B is minus 14 on block, but he has a follow-up from it. His 2BB is also minus 14 on block, but your 14 frame Punisher might get beaten by his stance options. His 1B is a low that is minus 16 on block. There is a follow-up to keep in mind, and if he hits you at tip range, it is safer. You can also attempt to low throw him after blocking his 1B, but this will lose to the follow-up. And you can also attempt to low throw with Cassandra and Asta. His 1BB is a low high where you can duck the second hit, but in order to do so you have to block the low first. To punish both 1B and 1BB at the same time, your character needs to have the I-16 high crush from crouching. Azwel, his full crouch 3BB can be sidestepped by a couple of characters, but not X. Siegfried and Asta, for example, can sidestep to the left, and Mina and Cassandra can sidestep it to the right. But you also have the option of using auto GI for verticals or mids to beat the second hit. Azwel, his full crouch 1B is minus 14 on block, but it becomes safer at tip range. His Y rising BB is a mid-mid that is minus 12 on block. And the last of his verticals is a 7B, which is minus 16 on block, but you will most likely never be in range to punish it. Next up we have his dual button attacks. First up for his dual button attacks we have his 2A plus B, which is a low that is minus 12 on block. After that we have his 8A plus B, which is minus 22 on block, but you will most likely never see in a match. Then there is his sword mode B plus K, which is minus 20 on block. His axe mode B plus K is a low that is minus 24 on block. Please punish this as hard as you can. And last for his dual button attacks we have his spare mode B plus K, which is an auto GI that is minus 24 on block. Now let's take a look at his 8-way run moves. First up, his 6-6A, a projectile that is minus 10 on block. but you most likely never be close enough to punish it anyway. Next is Azwel his 2-2A. This is -12 on block, but your 12 frame Punisher might get beaten by some of his stance transition moves. His 4-4B is another projectile. It is -14 on block. His 8-way run A+B is -12 on block, and even though it has a lot of range, it should always leave him close enough for your block Punisher to connect. And lastly, for his 8-way run moves, there is his running kick. It is -22 on block. Now let's take a look at his special moves. His Beauty of Balance A is -10 on block. His Beauty of Balance AA is also -10 on block, but your 10-frame punish will most likely get beaten by one of the follow-ups or a stance transition move. Azwel his Beauty of Balance AAA is a high where you can duck the last hit. But if you do, you might get hit by his Beauty of Balance AAB. Or if you want to, you can also auto GI the last hit if you have an auto GI for horizontals or highs. Azwel his Beauty of Balance AAB is -14 on block. But unless you have your back to the wall, you will most likely be pushed back too far to punish it. But you can also sidestep the last hit to the right. Unfortunately, this will get you hit by his Beauty of Balance AAA. Or you could GI the last hit and get a guaranteed 12-frame punish here. His Beauty of Balance AB is -16 on block. His Tragedy of War 6K is a low that leaves him at -14 on block and in a crouching position. And again, because it leaves him in a crouching position, you may attempt to low throw him here. This also works for Cassandra and Asta. Azwel his Comedy of Errors AB can be sidestepped to the right. But for some characters such as X, there has to be some distance between you. Other characters like Sophie for example can sidestep it to the right at all ranges. Or you can also use the auto GIs for verticals or mids to beat the second hit. Azwel his Comedy of Errors BB is -12 on block, but unless you have a wall or ring edge behind you, you will be too far to block punish it. So instead you could GI the second hit and get a guaranteed 12-frame punish. His Comedy of Errors B6 is -12 on block, but unless you're right up in his face, this also will be out of range for you to punish. His Comedy of Errors 4K is a low that leaves him at -12 on block. X can also attempt to low throw him, but only if Azwel has a wall or ring edge behind him. And lastly, we're going to take a look at his gauche attacks. The same as his normal AAA, you can also interrupt his Soul Charge AAA with a up to I-20 move as long as it's not a low or special mid. And of course, X and Tira will be able to get their lethal hits against airborne opponents here too. Also the same as his normal BBB, you can sidestep his Soul Charge BBB to either direction. Or you can interrupt him with the up to I-18 move, just remember that he can transition into stance after BB. And remember that it's possible for X and Tira to get their lethal hits here as well. Azwel, his soul charge 8A plus B is minus 10 on block, but unless he jumps over you or you block it when you're in the wall, you're gonna be too far to block punish it. Or if your character has a AGI that beats mid kicks, then you can use this one as well. His soul charge CE is minus 26 on block, but it has so much range that it is quite possible that you will be out of range to do anything about it. And lastly, we have his normal CE. This one is minus 20 on block. This was it for the first video on how to punish Azwel in Soul Calibur 6. Thank you for watching everyone. If you liked this video, check out some of my other guides too. And also like, comment and subscribe if you haven't already.